In this podcast episode, Jordan Peterson interviews Destiny, who is a streamer, debater, and political commentator. Destiny explains that he started streaming around 15 years ago, initially focusing on gaming content. Over time, he transitioned into political commentary, engaging in debates with right-wing individuals. He describes his shift from a conservative-leaning perspective to a more left-leaning stance, influenced by personal experiences and observations of inequality. Destiny characterizes the difference between left and conservative political viewpoints as centering around the role of government in redistribution. He explains that the left believes in using taxes to fund government programs that redistribute wealth to those in need, while conservatives tend to favor community-based solutions over government intervention. He also notes a shift in the political landscape towards populism and anti-institutional sentiments, blurring traditional left-right distinctions. Peterson raises the issue of gigantism and the skepticism towards large entities, noting that both conservatives and leftists share concerns about the power of big government and corporations. Destiny agrees, highlighting the rise of populism and anti-populist sentiments that transcend traditional political divides. He suggests that people's beliefs are often influenced by social groups and personal satisfaction rather than underlying principles. The conversation delves into the effectiveness of state intervention in addressing inequality. Peterson expresses skepticism about the benefits of government redistribution, citing examples where attempts to reduce relative poverty have led to increased absolute poverty. He argues that free market systems have been more successful in lifting people out of poverty, pointing to the collapse of socialist regimes as evidence of the limitations of forced redistribution. Destiny clarifies his pro-capitalist stance, emphasizing the strengths of capitalism in responding to consumer demand and driving economic growth. He acknowledges the failures of socialist and communist systems, attributing their downfall to factors beyond redistribution. He highlights the dynamic nature of markets and the importance of individual freedom in driving economic prosperity. Destiny argues that command economies, where the state controls production and distribution, have failed due to their inability to respond to changing conditions. He highlights the presence of shadow economies in such systems and the negative consequences of central planning. He also discusses the concept of redistribution for equality of opportunity, citing Scandinavian countries as examples. However, he acknowledges the challenges of implementing redistribution in larger, diverse economies like the United States. The conversation shifts to the concept of externalities, specifically focusing on carbon pricing and its impact on the poor. Destiny explains how externalities, such as pollution, can be addressed through government intervention, like carbon taxes. Peterson expresses skepticism towards the narrative surrounding climate change and the urgency to transition to renewable energy sources. He questions the reliability of climate models, the data used to support climate policies, and the potential negative effects on developing countries. He criticizes the focus on carbon dioxide as an externality and the lack of consideration for alternative solutions like nuclear energy. He also raises concerns about the underlying motives behind climate policies, suggesting a hidden agenda related to population control. Destiny describes how people can become stuck in a web of interconnected beliefs that support each other, making it difficult to challenge or reevaluate any individual belief within the constellation. This can lead to a rigid mindset where individuals are unable to consider alternative perspectives or engage in meaningful dialogue. Peterson adds to this by explaining that belief systems can serve to constrain entropy, with a radical increase in anxiety and a decrease in positive emotions occurring when fundamental beliefs are violated. This can further solidify the constellation of beliefs and make it challenging for individuals to question or challenge their existing beliefs. The conversation delves into the debate around renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power, and the opposition to nuclear energy. Destiny acknowledges the potential benefits of renewable energy, but also raises concerns about their reliability and environmental impact. Peterson argues for the use of nuclear energy as a more reliable and efficient alternative, questioning the motivations behind the push for renewable energy and the opposition to nuclear power. Destiny raises the issue of living in separate realities due to the polarization of media landscapes and the spread of misinformation. He points out how differing beliefs and perspectives can lead to a lack of shared understanding and factual knowledge, citing examples of misconceptions around illegal immigration numbers in the United States. The conversation underscores the need for individuals to engage in meaningful dialogue, seek common ground, and strive for a more informed and nuanced understanding of complex issues. Destiny argues that the mRNA vaccines have been effective in reducing hospitalizations, deaths, and transmission of the virus. He points out that the vaccines were rigorously tested and have been administered to billions of people worldwide. He also mentions that adverse events reported to Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, VAERS, are not necessarily caused by the vaccines, and that the system is meant to track any potential issues. Peterson, on the other hand, expresses skepticism towards the pharmaceutical companies and the rapid development of the mRNA vaccines. He raises concerns about the long-term effects of the vaccines and the unprecedented use of force to mandate their administration. He questions the validity of the VAERS reporting system and suggests that excess deaths in Europe may be linked to the vaccines. Peterson and Destiny delve into the concept of force in society, particularly in relation to justice. They discuss how the use of force can be a last resort and should be avoided whenever possible. Destiny highlights the negative consequences of using force to implement policies, such as eroding trust in public health systems. He argues that force is not an effective motivator and can lead to backlash and skepticism. Peterson agrees, noting that force should only be used when absolutely necessary and that a more invitational approach is often more successful in achieving desired outcomes. The conversation also touches on the idea of psychopathy and its role in criminal behavior. Peterson explains that psychopathy is characterized by a willingness to prioritize short-term gains over long-term relationships. He notes that men are more likely to exhibit psychopathic traits and that genetics and environment both play a role in the development of psychopathy. Destiny expresses his belief that debate and argumentation are beneficial because they force individuals to communicate their ideas effectively. He sees value in having different perspectives come together in a bipartisan manner, as it promotes a healthy democratic society. He emphasizes the importance of engaging with those who hold opposing views rather than disengaging or being forced out of discussions. He believes that the internet has contributed to the polarization of society by creating larger bubbles where individuals with similar beliefs congregate. However, he acknowledges that the alternative to talking is fighting, making conversation a necessary tool for resolving disagreements. The conversation shifts to the impact of hyperconnectivity on societal bubbles. Destiny suggests that as the internet has globalized communication, bubbles have expanded to encompass a larger and more diverse group of people. This has led to a situation where individuals from different locations and backgrounds are expected to share similar beliefs, contributing to polarization. He points out that the unintended consequence of hyperconnectivity is rigid levels of connectivity that can lead to intolerance and conflict. Peterson agrees, noting that while connectivity is important, it can also create challenges in navigating diverse perspectives and maintaining open dialogue. Destiny reflects on the value of conversation and the importance of engaging in difficult discussions. He acknowledges that conversations can be painful as they may challenge cherished beliefs, but sees it as a necessary step towards growth and understanding. Peterson agrees, emphasizing the importance of communication in preventing physical conflict. He notes that while disagreements can be challenging, avoiding conversation altogether can lead to more significant issues down the line. The podcast concludes with a mutual agreement on the significance of dialogue in resolving differences and fostering mutual understanding.